Death, for those who live only through the lens of materialism, seems to be the absolute end, the final period in a story written in flesh. But for those who see with the eyes of the soul, death is merely the comma in a cosmic sentence that continues in another dimension. According to Allan Kardec in the Spirits book, the soul is immortal, and its individuality does not fade upon leaving the body. It carries with it the lessons, the affections, and even the pains of what it experienced on earth. Chico Xavier, through his psychographies, narrated touching experiences of spirits who, right after death, found themselves confused, as if awakening from a dream in a strange room. Some described a deep sleep, a torpor like fainting. Others, in shock, tried to speak to family members, but no one could hear them. It is in this threshold between matter and the invisible that the 40 days gain deep meaning. The soul is still energetically connected to the physical plane and goes through a subtle transition process, which may be gentle or turbulent. What determines how this journey begins? According to Spiritism, the answer lies in the mental and moral vibration we cultivate during life. No one is exempt. Even skeptics and disbelievers will follow this path. But how they cross this portal depends entirely on what they have built within themselves. What have you been building? In the initial moments after death, many spirits do not realize they have died. They continue trying to interact with the living, touching them, speaking to them, trying to open doors or follow routines. But nothing works. It feels like a confusing dream in which one is present but invisible. Kardec called this state spiritual disturbance, a kind of fog between the worlds. And according to Chico Xavier, this phenomenon is more common than we think. Recently departed spirits, especially those strongly attached to the material world or those who died suddenly, such as in accidents or tragedies, often wander aimlessly. Some report seeing their own funerals, hearing the mourning, trying to comfort those crying. Others feel cold, hunger, thirst, not because they still have a body, but because their mind still believes it is alive. The power of thought projects sensations that mirror the spirit's state of consciousness. This leads us to an unavoidable question. If you were to die today, would your mind be prepared to accept the transition? Or would you desperately cling to what was left behind? Reflect on this, because detachment doesn't begin at death, it begins in life. During the first few days, the soul undergoes a process of deconditioning. It's like someone waking up from a coma and having to relearn the world around them. But in the spiritual plane, it's not just about learning to walk again, it's about understanding what it means to be dead. Many spirits, especially those who died in physical or emotional suffering, still carry sensations from their previous body. Chico Xavier psychographed several accounts of spirits who felt phantom pains, intense thirst, or even cold, as if they were still incarnated. But all of this, in truth, is the result of a mind that has not yet grasped its new condition. The body is gone, yet the soul remains wrapped in dense, vivid, and intense memories. And here, prayer plays a crucial role. When loved ones pray sincerely, with love and faith, their vibrations reach the spirit like balm. These are not just words. They are frequencies that soothe, awaken, and illuminate. As Emmanuel, Chico Xavier's mentor, once said, "Prayer is the bridge between the pain of the spirit and the light of hope." Do you pray for those who have passed, or do you only nurture sorrow and despair? Your answer could change someone's spiritual journey. As the days pass, the spirit begins to detach energetically from matter. If they already understand they have died, they start to perceive the presence of other spiritual beings around them, sometimes deceased relatives, sometimes helping entities. This moment is deeply symbolic. For some, it's like being embraced by someone who had long awaited them. For others, it feels like being dragged by forces that reflect their inner shadow. Chico Xavier often described how peaceful spirits are joyfully received in places filled with light and love. But those who cultivated hatred, resentment, or selfishness are drawn to dense regions known as the lower astral or umbral, where the soul's vibrations remain heavy. The umbral is not divine punishment. It is the projection of the spirit's own mental and emotional landscape. It is the materialization of what the soul still carries within. Meanwhile, more evolved spirits feel as if they are floating in an ocean of light, guided by mentors to spiritual colonies, cities of healing and learning. And you, if you were to cross over today, which frequencies would guide you? The peace you've cultivated, or the conflicts you postponed? Even spirits who are guided to higher regions go through an inevitable and profound phase, the life review. According to Heaven and Hell by Allan Kardec, shortly after fully detaching from the physical body, the spirit begins to see its life with painful clarity. It's not merely about recalling facts, it's about feeling the impact of every action on others. A loving gesture radiates like warm light. A hurtful word echoes back like a living wound. Chico Xavier described cases where spirits relived forgotten moments, realizing how deeply they had harmed others without knowing, or how they healed with small, unnoticed kindnesses. And the most surprising part? This review isn't imposed by any external judge. It's lived by the spirit's own conscience, with no masks, no justifications. It is the soul looking into the mirror of truth. Many feel deep remorse, wishing they could go back in time. But the past cannot be rewritten. It can only be learned from. Some accept it, repent, and prepare to repair in future incarnations. Others resist, and out of fear or shame, plunge into the shadows of the umbral. How would you react if you watched your own life through the lens of spiritual truth? Spirits who accept their inner truth and show sincere remorse are welcomed into spiritual colonies, vibrational cities described in vivid detail by André Louis through the psychographies of Chico Xavier. In these colonies, the spirit is cared for, healed, and guided. There are hospitals for the soul's wounds, schools for awakening consciousness, and temples of light where spirits unite in prayer. These colonies are not paradise, but rather stations of healing and preparation. There, the soul learns about divine laws, reflects on its past incarnation, and prepares for the next. Some of these souls, even within the 40-day period, begin to have intuitive glimpses of their next mission. They sense which bonds they'll rebuild, what challenges they'll face, and what new purpose awaits. This happens with the help of mentors who show them possibilities of reincarnation as if they were soul maps. The spirit, still sensitive to the past, must make a choice. Will it move forward into the new cycle, or delay it out of fear, guilt, or attachment? That decision shapes how long they remain between the two worlds. And you, if you could start over, would you have the courage to face what still needs healing? The greatest lesson of the 40 days after death is this: life continues, and more than that, it continues with purpose. There is no end, only transformation. The spirit doesn't disappear, doesn't sleep forever, doesn't wander aimlessly. It lives, it feels, it learns, it regrets, it liberates itself. The choices made in life shape the passage after death, and the emotions nurtured by the living directly influence this journey. Love, prayer, and faith are real bridges between the worlds. Knowing this is a call to responsibility. How am I living today? What am I vibrating? And if today were my time to go, what energy would I leave behind? What kind of light or shadow would I carry with me? Consciousness is not a burden, it is an eternal compass, and awakening can begin right now. Congratulations for staying with me until this point. This shows that your spirit is seeking more than just answers. It wants to prepare. As a way to give back, I'm going to share with you a symbolic yet deeply powerful practice. Before we begin, let me ask you, do you know someone who has passed away, and would you like to help them find peace and light right now? Then close your eyes for a few moments. Take a deep breath. Visualize the image of that person in front of you. It doesn't matter if they passed recently or long ago. Now, imagine a golden light emerging from your heart and gently enveloping that soul with warmth and serenity. Silently repeat the words, "You are at peace. You are light. You are supported." If you don't have a specific loved one in mind, send this energy to all the souls currently crossing the 40-day threshold after death. Feel the vibrational bridge forming. This simple practice, when done with sincerity, reaches planes that logic cannot understand, but love does. And if you wish to continue this gesture, light a white candle at home, holding thoughts of gratitude. You've just touched two worlds at once. I'm truly grateful that you walked with me until the end of this video. And to seal this moment, write in the comments, "Bridge of Light." This tells me you stayed with us to the end, and it strengthens our spiritual current. Creating this content felt like lighting a candle in the middle of the invisible. It required focus, faith, and a deep dive into the subtle planes. If this message touched your heart, please bless us with your like, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who has lost a loved one or who wishes to better understand life after death. Remember, no one is alone in the spiritual universe. The journey of the soul begins where fear ends.